Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages and how you could trade them actually, right? You've done this plenty of times, Scott. You use the liquidity pools. You look into this. What are you using there?
It is not easy at all. The least you could do to identify it, look at the time and sales, increase the size, and then look for the speed. Yeah, because if you decrease the size, all you're going to see is speed non-stop. You're not really going to see the wood through the trees. Yeah, it's just moving constant all the time. Looks like white orders all the time as well here. But as soon as you pop that up and say, just give me 2,000, there you go. There's one at 4,000. That's actually a retail. That's a huge order. But you can see now I've put it up to 2,000. It's going to go really slow. But when this speeds up and you see 2, 3, 5, 10,000 coming in and it's fast, that's when you know you've got to wait for that color candle change. And where I started off with is, like I said, the white orders are in between, which means that, they're filled in the mid between the bid and the ask. So they're generally not retail orders. And you generally find they go through with size as opposed to 10s, 50s and 100s. And then you can filter that up. So the first thing I've done was filter it up. So instead of just looking for the 10 Teslas, the 20 Teslas, I'm looking for the 300s, the 500s, the 1000s. And that slows your tape up considerably. So if I want it to be more than 500 shares, my tape's going to slow right up. See that? So I'm seeing the big numbers, but it's slow. Now what I want to look for is take this up a little bit more. So if I take it up to 1,000, I want it to get slower. Now what I want to look for is speed on these ones, because now you're seeing I'm almost filtering out all the red and blues unless they're large retail orders. I'm making that tape slow up. When it now comes alive on the big size orders, then that is what I'm looking for. The other criteria I'm looking for is price has got to kind of stop. I want to see that when I come into this level, I want to see that huge speed on the tape, huge amount of speed on the tape, because they're going to be whites. So I won't know whether they're buys or sells because dark pools disclose their orders for anonymity. But you basically get twice the volume hit at that area on that particular candle. Hence the wick here, for example, and that's the dark pool coming in. Now you can't tell really what effect that's having at the exact time it's happening. You can only really wait for the candle to close and make an assumption. Oh, okay, so I was anticipating that this buy side was here. It rushed into that buy side on huge speed and all the orders were above 1,000. And if you add them all up, sometimes you can come to a very nice big round number, and then you go, right, okay, so they've literally just bought 500 million at this price because the candle turns green immediately after. And it's just a case of being a little bit more patient for that. But to give you an idea, you can see whenever I've drawn these levels going from these swings, there's always one like a macro swing. So this is the macro for this A to B swing. There's a pull there, but each pull, as it pushes up, each swing grabs another pull and creates another pull, and that is formalized. So that's why when you look back at these levels, you're like, geez, yeah, they're actually pretty darn close. But what you can't do is anticipate exactly whether it's going to hold or whether it's going to fail. Like I said, today, right now, as we're looking at it, this one saw a huge amount of green volume coming into this tape. And the speed, if we look on a 1 minute, you'll probably see, we had some smaller bars here, then we had this big rush in. Now I'm sitting here, I've drawn this in, it's been in for days, and when I see that, I'm expecting it. I'm expecting that rush of orders. As far as I'm concerned, that's hidden liquidity at that point. Huge amount of buys, huge amount of sells going into it, and then the sells will now be distributed out of that pool, and I'm going to draw my next one in. You've got to expect it over halfway, but not a double top, if you get me, right? So it's normally over halfway, but not a double top. If you look at any of these swings back here, just on the market itself, it's come up, and then this one's pretty much halfway because of the time it took to get up there. If this was to have run up a lot quicker, if the trend hadn't have gone kind of, I don't know what, let's say 40 degrees, 45 degrees, if this had run up at like a 70-degree angle or 30-degree angle, I should say, then that buy side pull is going to be much further down. And that's how it works. It's always moving dynamically. As price is moving up, got this buy side pull just following you, and the same on the downside. So there's never going to be an ultimate strategy for it unless you're looking at the tape. And the only thing you can do is take your normal support and resistance levels, whichever's working for you. Doesn't matter whether you're using these fair value gaps, support and resistance, demand and supply, whatever you want to call it. The least you could do to identify it is whatever product you're trading, look at the time and sales, increase the size, and then look for the speed. Yeah, because if you decrease the size, all you're going to see is speed non-stop. You're not really going to see the wood through the trees. Yeah, it's just moving constant all the time. Looks like white orders all the time as well here. But as soon as you pop that up and say, just give me 2,000, there you go. There's one at 4,000. That's actually a retail. That's a huge order. But you can see now I've put it up to 2,000. It's going to go really slow. But when this speeds up and you see 2, 3, 5, 10,000 coming in and it's fast, that's when you know you've got to wait for that color candle change.
All right, Scott taking the time. Like always, guys, smash the like for that explanation there. And that's what it's all about here. We're always trying to give you guys back that value. We'll keep battling with you guys, like always, learning on execution, trying to continue giving you guys topics. And like always, give us some feedback. What do you want to see more on the show? We'll keep bringing it to you guys. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, and we'll see you guys back on Monday. See you.